Hi there, it's Skinny Tam again. I made pork steak and gravy today. As you'll see, I had to do a voiceover because the noise was unreal, as usual. These are fairly large steaks, and they have a bone in. And so what I'm doing, I've washed these very well because they end up with bone fragments on them when the meat cutters slice them. They don't clean them, so I recommend washing any pork steaks. And then you want to get a really good sear on them, but you don't want to cook them. You're not trying to cook them thoroughly, just want to kind of seal it in on the sides. I apologize you can't see the skillet. I'm gonna get better at this, I promise. There we go. That's a little bit better. I use the wok because it's a little bigger than my little 10-inch skillets. I usually use cast iron. I have a million sizes of cast iron, but most of it is outside in the shed, and the shed is, I can't get to anything in there. My granddaughter is going to try to climb over everything and find them. I have my great big cast iron skillet, which I absolutely love. Several other pieces that I would like to have brought in. But until then, I will make do with my daughter-in-law's dishes and her things that I'm proud to have. It's better than nothing. This last steak was giving me a little bit of a fit. It wanted to stick and burn, and I had to just go on and force it out of there. But once you get these all seared up, get them in your casserole dish, and then we're going to cover them with gravy, which this particular gravy is just 2 packages of Lipton onion soup mix, and I add a little cornstarch to the liquid to help it thicken up some. And once this goes into the oven, I know you can make your own. I've done that as well, but today we're making do with what we have, and it is what it is. So as you can see, it's just about ready. I wished I could have used some of that fond off the bottom of that skillet, but would have made it a little bit too greasy, I think. There is still some fat left on the steaks, and I'll remove that. Some of that fat is very flavorful, so I don't want to take it out too early. So we'll wait until it has a chance to tender up a little bit, and the fat usually just falls away. Actually, the meat will just fall away from the bones. There are a T-bone shape in each one of the steaks, and that's how I judge as to whether or not it's getting ready to be removed. I had to have a talk with that foil. It was giving me fits. I finally did get it. I cut that out. There was a big argument between the two of us, so we had to come to an understanding that I'm the boss. My kitchen, my rules. Like my friend Chris says. And plastic wrap. I want to get the nice ones like we had in the restaurant with the cutters on them, but they're very expensive. So for now, I'll just make do with what I have and just have to learn to wrestle it. So anyway, I had to get a sheet pan to put this on because I was afraid it might boil over a little bit. Now this is on a 350 degree oven, and you kind of have to just judge. I started my timer for an hour and 15 minutes. Generally, it'll take about an hour and a half. It depends on your stove. Everyone's stove is different. But this was after an hour and a half, and I've removed all the bones. And as you can see, the meat just fell apart, and the gravy thickened up nicely. It has a really great taste to it. I'm going to put this back into the oven just to keep it good and hot and allow that gravy to get good and thick. And once that is done, make sure your oven door is all the way open before you attempt to put something back into it. That's a screaming hot oven. And these are the no yolks. They call them dumplings, but it's like an egg noodle. But these hold up. They do not tend to fall apart. They don't soak up too much of the gravy and get gummy. They stay very nice, and I've always preferred them, but you do you, whatever you prefer. But we like these. I really liked using the wok for searing and for boiling these noodles. All of the pots that they have here aren't really the right size for what I needed it for, so yeah, it works out. And I'm just going to warm up some leftover corn. I know it's a lot of carbs, but it's good to not waste. And my son loves corn, so I had a salad. And he had the corn. I made him a salad too, but he didn't have any dressing that he liked, so he opted to eat the leftover corn. And that's a good thing. No waste. It's very strange not having this sound, but believe me, it's way better than what it would have been. Not to mention, on the TV, there are a lot of music that would be copyrighted. So I definitely didn't want to get in trouble for that. So this is just working out so much better. I know a lot of people don't like that. You like to hear the sizzle. I like to hear the sizzle. But, you know, that's just something that has to be done. So here I took all of the meat out of the gravy, and I did put it back in the oven for a little while to let it just continue to thicken up, because I thought it was just a little on the runny side. We don't like runny gravy. I like it to be somewhat on the thick side. I was going to make some biscuits or some dinner rolls, but guys, it was hot today, and it's too early to cut the air conditioner on. I opened the kitchen window, but it was just very hot, and I just wanted to get out of that kitchen after I get this finished. So, yeah. I used to make this for the grandkids all of the time, and they loved it. As you can see, we have our noodles and our pork steak and gravy and corn. I'm just getting a little taster out for my son. I asked him if he would mind if I recorded his reaction, and of course he said yes, he minds. He said, I'll taste it, but not on camera. So I took it into him, and he had a little bite, and he really, really liked it. Of course, he always says needs more salt and pepper, but I don't heavily salt things, and you know, he's 46 years old. I worry about his sodium levels as well as my own. But he liked it, so that's a good thing. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you guys so much.